And we're live, as far as I can tell. Let me double check here. Yeah, shows that we are going. Good morning to everyone tuning in. Tuning in by, of course, going on your app or going online to our MORPHITE YouTube channel and checking us out. My name is Sam. This is the very first of our Saturday sunrise stream. And so welcome. And I'm going to tell you right up front, it's probably going to be messy. It's probably going to be a little crazy. There's probably going to be dogs and cats running around in the background. There he is, perfectly on cue. Yeah, I'm talking about you. So, yeah, but he has been walked and fed, so hopefully he'll just kind of chill for a little bit. But when he sees the cat, it's usually like go time. Like, all right, we're going to start running around in circles, chasing each other, scratching, having a good time. They love each other, but it's exciting. We'll put it that way. Yeah, this is my first time doing this. You may have caught our announcement video the other day talking about this, starting the Saturday sunrise stream. It really was just kind of a crazy idea that popped into my head, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do it. We haven't put out much content in a while. We haven't really been doing a lot. People have been quarantined. I need to get up early on a Saturday and get some things done, and I said, you know what? You know what would be a great motivation? You know what would be a great challenge and an enjoyable thing that I'm not going to regret at all is setting a deadline for myself to wake up at 5 in the morning so I can be ready to start doing a live stream at 6:35 in the morning. Yeah, so here we are. And if you know me, that's actually a little harder than it sounds because I am a night owl, total night owl. Shout out to all my night owls out there, people who really come alive at around midnight and don't go to bed till around like 3 or 4 in the morning. Yeah, that's me. So we're operating on coffee this morning and a little bit of sleep. Also, as I mentioned, this is the first time I've done this. I'm working in OBS studio software, and so if you see me staring off to the side, it looks like my eyes are glazing over and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. It's because I probably am, because this is only the second or third time I've used this program. It's the first time I've ever done anything live with it, other than the other day when I posted about 3 times by accident. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how it turns out. If you want to know what to expect, it's a live stream, it's a variety show, it's kind of whatever I feel like doing, so you're just going to get a bunch of me doing all kinds of crazy weird stuff, maybe some crazy boring stuff, so if you don't feel like tuning in, tune out, go do something else. You know, it's 6:38 in the morning, and most people probably aren't watching this live anyways, so I will put the stream up, it'll stay online. Actually, let me see if, oh, we do have someone on. Joy says hi. All right. So we do have at least one person watching us live, which is good to know. Good to know somebody else decided to wake up early enough. Yeah, I wasn't sure if people are going to, this is the kind of thing people are going to want to watch while it's happening or watch later in the day. Like I said, I kind of set it as a deadline for myself, so I'd get up, so I'd get things done. And yeah, we'll kind of see how it goes. What I did for this first one, since I didn't really have anything set up to talk about or set up to look at, is I talked to my brothers and I said, hey, I'm going to be doing this crazy live stream thing. I keep saying crazy because getting up this early is crazy for me. I'm going to be doing this live stream thing, and I'm going to be looking at stuff, talking about stuff, reviewing things, kind of whatever. And I said, send me some links, send me some videos, stuff you want me to check out. And so they sent me a couple different things, and we'll kind of take a look at some of those. And I've got some other things hoping to get into here. I do have kind of a surprise toward the end. Well, it's not a surprise to me, but hopefully it'll work, and hopefully we don't run into any YouTube copyright issues, because if we do, then it'll be a problem. But that's why I'm putting it at the very end, so if for some reason the stream just gets then that's because it's at the end, so it won't be that big. You won't be missing anything. It'll just be me by myself thinking that people are watching. So that's just kind of what's going on right now anyways. That's the other odd thing that I wanted to practice with this is talking to camera. It sounds kind of funny, but I've actually not talked to camera a lot. I've done a lot of teaching. I've done a lot of in-person, up front of people, presentation, that sort of thing, even some audio recording, but doing a longer, I'd say longer, it'll probably only be, 30 minutes-ish, thing into the camera is something a little new for me, so I gotta get used to looking at that little, this little dealio here, as opposed to watching myself on the screen up there, which means you can see that I'm not looking at the camera. So anyways, so let's just get into it. Let's see what we got going on. First off, I wanted to give a shout out to our sponsor. I'm sorry, the voice in my head just told me we don't have a sponsor because nobody sponsors this kind of activity. So we're actually just going to go, let me pull up here. Let's see what we had. Here's a good one. All right, so they sent me this link. I tried to make sure I didn't watch any of this stuff. I didn't, make sure you can see what I'm seeing here. I didn't watch any of this. I did not, I tried to just avoid it ahead of time so that it wouldn't be, so my reactions would be fresh. My take would be hot, if you will. And so we'll kind of get right into this. This video is called Baltic Sea Anomaly HD. So I'm really glad I was sent the HD version because, you know, the last time I watched a Baltic Sea Anomaly, it was in low res, and the whole time I could not believe it. I couldn't take it. So this Baltic Sea Anomaly HD has 47,000 views. It was posted in December of 2018. That's right, it's 2020 already. Wow. So let's see what this is because I don't actually know what it is. All right, Baltic Sea Anomaly, and just for reference, I watch everything at 1.25 speed. I can't stand watching stuff at regular speed because people talk way too slow, and so yeah, we'll just kind of roll with this. And throw something up in the comments in the chat there if you can't hear me, or if the video is not showing or something weird's going on. Because again, this is my first time doing this, so I'm probably goofing up something somewhere. So far we have a miniature submarine and some dramatic music. And I'm trying to determine if this is live, like real footage, or if this is a computer-generated image. With how smooth everything looks, it's hard for me not to believe that this is... Turn this down just a tad. Some of the shots look like they could be computer generated. Again, I really have no idea what this video is. It says it's the Baltic Sea Anomaly. A Baltic Sea Anomaly. Alright, we've got the dramatic... Hey, buddy. You interested in the anomaly? You want to see what it is? Here, come here. Can you say hi to the nice people? Oof. Oh, no!
Very strange is that we'll have this hard surface,
Right,
but still we have a darker color. If it is a hard surface, it should have this white color all over it, but instead it looks like the bottom, which consists of clay and mud, which is very soft. The only hard surfaces we see is these thin lines, which are the corridors and angular structures we have on the object. So this is something I want to find out why it looks like this. This is a multi-beam image of the anomaly, and it shows us a three-dimensional image. And,
I guess I'm a little confused why this is an anomaly.
And, the track
I'm assuming, I was just assuming it was a
see
shipwreck.
Circular form, even if this is not high resolution, but it gives us quite a good view how it actually looks like.
For us, this is a
Dennis.
very interesting picture. As you can see here, we have straight lines. Is it also 90 degrees angles here? And that's amazed me. It's an intriguing picture. It's an amazing picture for me. I have never ever seen a picture like that.
All right, already, because I guess I don't know the context of this at all, so I'm a little confused as to why they're so amazed that they saw this structure that's underwater. Things get buried all the time in water, shipwrecks, whole entire cities have been plunged underwater due to volcanoes. So I guess I don't get what the big deal is yet. Maybe I'm missing something completely. I am not fully awake at this point in time, so I might have just completely missed something. Also, I want to apologize for the loud squeal from my dog. I have no idea. Did you squish your paw or something, dude? You were hopping up here just fine. I don't know. He's fine, but he must have done something painful.
And as you have seen, we have used our side scan sonar also, and there you can see the whole object. The object is like 60 meters in diameter. And in this object, we have this like walls and tunnels and also holes in this object. These walls are like 1.5 to 2 meter high. Here we use the ROV and we're looking down at the object.
Man, they got all kinds of cool
Here
tech
you
now. They
see
can
straight
see
lines.
all kinds of cool stuff.
It's
They can
in our eyes, not nature.
image
have done
everything.
that.
It's
But
awesome.
perhaps it is. But in our case, we don't know. You can see the straight lines here, but you can also see a hole. It's 2 meters in diameter. It has also a frame around it. It looks like a frame, but we don't know.
The time has finally come.
Now we're
to
talking
get
about
some
Stockholm.
answers. Peter and Dennis start off with a meeting with
That's in
Anders
2012.
an expert in underwater
So this happened
archaeology.
8 years ago. Whatever it is.
To me, it looks like I wouldn't perhaps call it a wall or that it's something you can walk in, but it's definitely a very sharp edge, and I haven't seen this before, and when I just look at it now, it definitely looks like man-made. Very interesting.
All right, so they think
Man-made in my eyes, but
they found a man-made
he's,
structure
He's
underwater.
the knowing guy, scientist, and when he says things like that, I'm just.
If it
I
is
don't
man-made,
understand why
not
this is
carved out from the cliff itself, because
such a big deal.
all you see there is a hard surface. It's a mineral or something.
My immediate reaction was that this is some kind of concrete
Andreas.
construction, something modern. I would think
Concrete.
20th century or perhaps late 19th century. But it definitely, from the imagery,
That
it
would be a
looks
little
like it could be man-made.
modern to
it
be
looks like
buried
the,
underwater like that.
When you look at
I don't know
that
anything
sharp
about the.
line,
I don't even know where the
it has
Baltic
a
Sea is,
very
honestly.
different density.
I'm
And it
trying to
almost looks
think.
like it's
I want to say it's
like
in Europe,
steel or something,
near
because
Europe.
it's a much harder echo. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I do.
You have
But
to
I
deal
don't
with
remember.
very
My
many
geography is
different
not the best.
experts to get a full picture.
Yeah, for sure. That's the next step.
So the regular shape means the object
This is why I hate
is
television,
man-made.
because
My name is Stefan Ogeborn, and I'm the diver.
we've watched 6.5 minutes of this video, and I could have given you all that information in 30 seconds. But because they were trying to fill probably an hour and a half or whatever, this is a larger part of a piece of programming, they had to draw all of this way out with the dramatic music, with all the shots, with all the stuff. I know it's, some people love this kind of stuff. Me, I'm like, okay, so what did you find? What is it? What's going on? 6.5 minutes later, and I'm still wondering exactly why this matters, what the anomaly is. I mean, I got everything that they just talked about. I pretty much got that impression within the first 30 seconds anyways, that, hey, this is some weird thing we found underwater. They haven't really said anything new.
Of Ocean XT. This
Do I sound
is a
irritated? I'm not really
picture of
irritated.
the
I'm just
hole
kind of
in the
nonplussed.
object. And we are very interested in taking a closer look at this.
Peter
All right,
and
let's take a
Dennis
closer
need
look.
more answers. They meet the geologist Volker Brücker.
I want
who
more
has
answers.
More than 30 years of experience with rocks. He has examined the material and is ready to give his opinion. Peter and Dennis show Volker the video material.
So this is just a video of people giving their opinions on a picture.
Och där har du flera stycken utav dem.
I'm feeling rather meta right now, because I'm giving my opinion on this video of these guys giving their opinion of a picture of another man-made object underwater. Just layers upon layers here.
What lies beneath?
Well, from my point of view, it could almost be Millennium Falcon right now. I think it's important to have more information
What?
before we can pursue any theory. We have to be very open.
Did he say Millennium Falcon? Does he mean it looks like the Millennium Falcon? Because the shape?
Biologists would explain it according to his or her discipline. So we must have many disciplines. We must see this
Nuts.
from many point of views. We must create, so to say, a holistic picture of this in order to find what it is actually.
Good job, Stefan. That's me right now. Man with hands on hips, waiting expectantly.
When you get back to the surface and you stand on the boat's deck, everything just releases in you. All the adrenaline that kept you alive, that kept you in work, just disappears. And of course, I might look a little sad, and that's just because I've been so tensed for 2 hours.
Alltså jag har aldrig varit med om något liknande i temperatur.
So we were learning a little more. There's some weird temperatures near the object. Colder than expected.
Var det som jag hade ritat? Ja, ungefär.
I'm guessing that footage at the very beginning of the video was actually from slightly later in this process. Like, this is them as they're... Yeah, because this is the first images they're seeing of this. Can it be magma?
Och här ligger helt plötsligt så här stenformation där, ser du? Så här stenar som ligger som i en ring.
Like a fairy ring. Yeah, just like a fairy ring.
The most peculiar thing, or the
Oh,
strangest
wow.
thing, was a hole. It was like a circle, 2 or 3 meters in width, and like a frame around it. I mean, like a square frame and a circular hole, and that's kind of weird.
It's a magic moment in my
Spider
head.
next.
I'm waiting for this for a long time to see these pictures. Yeah, my heart is ticking quite fast.
You see what you believe is a rock, and when you look closer, it is more similar to concrete. Yeah, and it's like somebody molded it before it actually turned into stone. The amazing thing here is that
This
you
guy's
don't
got
get
his
any
cup of
answers.
soup going.
You just get more questions.
What was that? Today's special? Oh, that was their drawing. Okay. I told you I'm not awake yet. Today's special is the anomaly under the Baltic Sea. I feel like this video is taking up way too much airtime on this Sunday stream, but I have committed to it, and it only has another several minutes left. I'm only gonna watch till the end of this. I'm not gonna watch the credits and all that, and whatever else this guy recorded. Alright, so the thing is 3D and it's underwater. We still don't know anything else. You see all this? This just B-roll and CG footage that they have with epic music. Like, nothing's happening right now. This video is not going to come to any conclusion at all, is it? It's just going to be like, there's a thing under the water. What could it be? Mysterious mysteries of strange mystery shall never be solved. That's going to be the end of this video. And I'm going to regret ever watching it. Alright, so the thing went underwater and it was dramatic. I feel like it's deceiving how much they interweave some of this obviously computer-generated footage with actual footage, or what is purportedly actual footage. Okay. They attend a meeting at the Swedish Armed Forces headquarters. The Naval Command Unit has taken interest in the anomaly. I would hope so. Be like, you know what? What is this foreign man-made object that's in our waters? That's the end of it, isn't it? So this was basically an ad for the Mystery Beneath Will the Truth Surface, the full movie. This was a 14-minute ad. You know what? Enough of that. That's we're done with that. All right, so my full take on that video is don't watch that video. It will tell you almost nothing and just leave you wanting more. Hey, look. Speaking of sunrise and the sunrise stream, sun is arisen. And that's where we want to be. It's been, let's see, 35. Yeah, we've actually been going for a little bit here. And that's the whole idea behind this, is that I would start, hopefully, roughly 15 minutes before the sun comes up, go to roughly 15 minutes after the sun is up for a while. So that's kind of was the original idea, so you get the whole sunrise effect throughout the video. And it's just a happy little, fun little thing for you to watch whenever you watch it, whether you're joining me for the sunrise or you're just watching it some point later in the future. If you're watching this like way later in the future, please shoot a comment and tell me if it's like 2024 and you're watching this video. I want to know, because hopefully I'm still going to have the MORPHITE channel going, and we'd love to know about that kind of stuff. Alright, so we watched The Mystery Beneath. We learned absolutely nothing but that there is a mystery beneath. Honestly, my interest is not very piqued. So, okay, this was another video I was sent by someone here. And let's see what this is. Wolf Press Conference. If you don't know Wolfpack, they're a independent music creators. They're really, really good, fun music, really upbeat, a lot of stuff that's just instrumental, always really tight, really well-crafted stuff. So if you want to listen to them, check that out, Wolfpack. Anyways, he put up this video, so let's see what this is, what's going on.
I just did a bad thing. I regret the thing I did. And you're wondering what it is, I'll tell you what I did. I did a bad thing. Early this year, the Spotify chart was forming a classic double tomahawk pattern. It kept testing
no.
support, and I knew the stock would drop. As the most well-known Spotify bear, I took...
Okay, so for a little bit of context, that's Jack Stratton. He's kind of the leader, or the ringleader, I should say, of Wolfpack. And his stuff is always tongue-in-cheek. It's always over the top. He's always doing something crazy. And he had, in fact, they released at one point, because of the way that musicians get paid on Spotify, they released an entire album that was completely silent, and they called it Sleepify, and it was just non-music. It was basically just them with nothing. Like, there was nothing on it, so it was a whole album of nothing. But they were getting paid for it, every the amount of plays that people got. So of course they encouraged all of their followers and their listeners. They said, "Hey, play our new album. Just put it on in the background, let it run for an hour, however long the album is." And they were getting plays off of essentially nothing. But it was kind of an in-your-face move to Spotify, because Spotify has not been paying creators, or had not at that point been paying creators properly, according to other platforms and that kind of stuff. Since then, things have gone up, down, left, and right, and changed around. So it's not quite the same world that it was. However, that's kind of the background between Jack's attitude toward Spotify. So he's always kind of poking fun at Spotify. So it's, yeah.
The short position. It did drop in March, and I felt like a genius. I doubled down, went 4x leverage in my Interactive Brokers account, and bet everything. Last month, Spotify stock ripped.
I was going to
to
say
the
that
upside.
wasn't a good move.
Absolutely destroyed. Wrecked. Bjork. It's all gone. I wish I could say I was broke, but it's worse than that. All this while, I was trying to release a 6-part Spotify expose on Schmagegi, the Netflix of Canada, but was rejected due to lack of French subtitles. As an artist, I've been put in an untenable and somewhat embarrassing situation.
So, for a little more context, in case you can't tell, he makes up all kinds of stuff. So, I have no idea if Schmagegi is a thing, but I'm pretty sure it's not. But he's also... I don't know if I want to say a marketing genius, but he has some really, really interesting marketing ideas. So I'm guessing this is about to go into some crazy marketing scheme. He did he's done like a live stream for hours. I think it was like 12 hours or something, or 8 hours, where he just live streamed the entire time. And I think it was like a fundraiser for some kind of charity or something, where it was just him hanging around dancing to Wolfpack music the whole time. He does all kinds of crazy stuff, and a lot of times they work. And they're completely independent, so that's kind of one of the unique things about Wolfpack. They're not with a label. They're not with what is it, UMI, Universal Media, or any of their big labels, Sony or anybody. All their stuff is completely independently released. It goes out on YouTube, goes out on Spotify, goes out on places where they can upload it. SoundCloud, I don't know. SoundCloud, it used to be so much better, so much easier to use, and over time, all these platforms get so clunky and hard to. Anyways, so. He's constantly looking for new, interesting ways to kind of get the word out there, kind of make some waves. So I'm guessing that's what this is.
No artist should have to do what I'm about to do. We are selling track 10 on the upcoming Wolfpack album on eBay. This isn't like the Wu-Tang thing.
Okay,
the
that makes
highest bidder
sense.
will get naming rights. 2 minutes.
So I opened. If you can see it here, there was a link on here that said eBay auction, and I wasn't sure what that was, so I just opened that in a new tab just ahead of time as a little bit of prep. So I think I get where this is going.
Seconds on the album. Could be a graduation thing, a birthday, a marriage proposal, a law firm ad. Apple could buy it. Your band could buy it and put your song on a Wolfpack album. This is joyous expression. This is prime auditory real estate. Past track 10s have included Louis Cole, Ori Wong, Bootsy Collins, Bushy Krongle. Listen, I goofed and I goofed hard. No artist should have to sell ad space on their record. But track 10, Wolfpack's 2020 release, The Joy of Music, Job of Real Estate, has been foreclosed. And the bidding has begun.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense now. So basically, let me refresh this here. For sale, track 10 of Wolfpack's new record. Wow, the current bid is at $50,000, and there's been 136 bids. That's intense. What did it start at? It started at 1 cent. First bid was at $2,200. Some people bid on their way up and retracted, but it looks like it just climbed pretty steadily from there. Started at 2,200. And it's now at 50,000, and it will be It's got 28 days. It's got almost a whole month left. There's 34 bidders. Wow. So we'll see how that turns out. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that to see how that works, if that plays well for them or not. I don't know if they've done... I'm trying to remember if they've done fundraisers like GoFundMe or Patreon or that kind of stuff for their albums. I want to say everything's just grassroots, independently funded. But that's an interesting one for sure. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, let's see. It is 7 a.m. I'm going to open up this other link, which says something about octopuses. Octopuses rolling on MDMA reveal unexpected link to humans. They just embraced with multiple arms. Okay, so this is another story that I was sent. Thank you to my brothers for sending me all kinds of weird and wonderful things like this. Let me make sure my video still looks good. Okay, yeah, this looks great. All right. I think it's kind of small on the screen there, and I don't feel like fiddling around with it to try to make it as legible as it could be, so I'm going to read out the highlights here. When the California two-spot octopus isn't attempting to bring more eight-legged cephalopods into this world, it prefers to be alone. The octopus Bimaculoides spends most of its time hiding, searching for food, until it's time to partner up, and then they get together. Okay, so regular stuff until they're on MDMA. So whose idea was this? In a groundbreaking study, researchers described how octopuses on the drug similarly act to a socially anxious human on MDMA. They open up. All right, so Gul Dolan at Johns Hopkins University, assistant professor of neuroscience, co-author of the 2018 Current Biology paper. She tells Inverse, I guess that's where we got this from, Inverse, when octopuses are on MDMA, it's like watching an 8-armed hug. They were very loose. They just embraced with multiple arms. While MDMA is known to trigger pro-social behavior in mice and humans, it's never been witnessed in invertebrates, animals that have no backbone. So I guess the thought was, let's see if MDMA hits as hard with octopuses as it does with mice and humans. All right, why not? Let's spend those government grant money. Let's figure this out. Vertebrates and invertebrates have wildly divergent bodies and brain structures. Yeah. Vertebrates deserved a second look about MDMA. They understood some improvements in molecular genetic analysis. Talking about evolution. Wonderful. Electrifying results. The octopus differs. Heap of no bones. Here's some writing filler. I've done ad copy of the two. I've done copywriting for articles like this, and this is obvious filler. An octopus differs from a human in many ways beyond the obvious. A heap of no bones, blah, blah, blah. Let me give you some factoids about octopuses. So this this article reaches its 600 to 1400 word limit. Blah, blah, blah. The brain contains serotonin transporter that enables the binding of MDMA. So in other words, they can take in and utilize MDMA in a similar mechanism or the same mechanism as humans. Serotonin is an ancient neurotransmitter that's shared across vertebrate and invertebrates. They were hypothesizing this. We need to check the genome to make sure that the genes encode serotonin transporter, blah, blah, blah. We performed phylogenetic tree mapping. MDMA would have a place to go. There's a revolutionary suggestion because scientists only very recently began to accept that invertebrates are even capable of being social. Oh, okay, so that's kind of the idea behind the study of this is to try to encourage social behavior. Now that could be handy. I haven't read further than that, but that could be handy if you're doing studies and especially on animals that have limited lifetimes and you say, okay, we need to observe social behavior or create a, what do you call that? A group, man, wow, I'm blanking out. Anyways, a control group. That's a control group for specific actions, specific activities. So something like MDMA could be handy because they could say, okay, when we give all of these animals this much MDMA, then we know they're going to do this activity or they're going to have this amount of social activity. So then they could trigger the social activity. So then they could study other things within the social activity that they're trying to study, like how long do they stay together when this happens, or blah blah blah, yada yada. Anyways, that's how I could see this being handy. Otherwise, it's just people messing with animals. After all, without MDMA, California two-spot octopuses prefer to be loners. Okay, so we're doing something unnatural. That's great. Illustrating a shift in thinking, shown that invertebrates, sea slugs, bees, and crabs, they have cognitive, behavioral, physiological phenomena. Internal states reminiscent of emotions. Oh, so we're trying to find the emotion within the animal. This is important because of serotonin. Octopuses are advanced. Serotonin is important for social behavior. feel like we're talking in circles. This became clear when she observed how octopuses acted after they were bathed. You know, I didn't realize it was octopuses. I'm assuming that whoever wrote this did their spell check, Sarah Sloat. And if she didn't, then I'm going to blame her. The fact that we've said octopuses multiple times and not octopi. Octopi sounds better to me, but it could be completely wrong. I don't look that kind of stuff up very often. At least I have not with this word. I'm just kidding. I look this kind of stuff up all the time, but I don't know this one. Individual octopuses were put into the middle of a glass aquarium that was divided into 3. From the middle zone, the subject octopus had the option to move into the zone on either side. On one side, there was another octopus in a cage, and the other, there was a novel toy object, which was a stormtrooper figurine. Sociality was measured by the number of seconds the subject octopus spent on the side with the caged octopus compared to the stormtrooper side. See, if this was a human, there would be so many external factors that would affect this. What if the MDMA triggered an emotional response to the stormtrooper figurine where it actually reminded you of your childhood and how happy you were when you played with your stormtrooper figurine until your mom sold it when you were too old to play with toys anymore? I mean, okay, never mind. We'll just keep going. We'll see what happened. 5 octopuses were used. 4 were used during the MDMA. 5 were used in control. 4 were used with MDMA. All right, so what actually happened? They would push against the wall and delicately touch the container that had octopus in it. When they were males and females, they were exploring, trying to figure out, hey, am I interested in the other, When they were, okay, so they were kind of slowly, cautiously checking the other one out when they were sober. Well, when they were on MDMA, they were not delicate. After being placed in the bath with MDMA for 10 minutes and then washed with saline for 20 minutes, that's kind of interesting, they re-entered the 3-zone aquarium. This time they spent significantly more time with the other octopus, whether it was male or female, and the 8-armed hugging commenced. So in other words, they just felt all lovey-dovey. This paper is welcomed. This paper is welcomed. As the behavioral neuroscience of cephalopods is very understudied. I would say I've never heard of a study like this ever before. This is Shelley Adamo, an invertebrate behavior physiologist. She was not involved with the current paper, but she's a subject matter expert. Adamo studies interactions between behavior and physiology in invertebrate model systems. We know a little about how their brains work, yada yada. It's too early to jump to conclusions. The paper's evidence that this octopus were engaging in social behavior is not especially strong. That's true. I mean, it could be that's not necessarily showing that they have social behavior, the fact that they're hugging more, because it could be a purely physical craving that they get, just like they want to eat food, so they're stuffing their face or something like that. That's not really indicative of higher complex emotions, the fact they're hugging more. It could just be that they craved an embrace, and so they did that. I guess further study is warranted to figure out, do octopuses really have emotions? Tune in at 9. As with most interesting papers, it raises a number of questions. What would 2 octopus do if they were both on MDMA? Whoa, and they could contact one another. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I'm not learning anything new here. Basically, they gave octopuses MDMA and they hugged each other. So we learned everything in like the first paragraph and nothing else new. You know, I'm getting the impression that, not the impression, I do believe that a lot of the internet is like this, and it's unfortunate. I'm not talking about the study or the content. I shouldn't say content. I'm not talking about the subject of this article in particular. I'm talking about the way the internet approaches material and approaches giving you information. It's funny because things happen so fast on the internet. You can get access to so much information, so many different things so quickly. And so everyone's fighting for this information economy, this attention economy that we now live in. And it's interesting because, as I mentioned earlier, I did a little bit of copywriting for a company I used to work for, where I would write articles like this, where, hey, I was in the technology sphere, so it had to do with, this new phone or this new app or whatever, and I'd write an article about it. But it was similar to this, where I basically had 1 paragraph's worth of information, of real data content to give to you. It would take me 30 seconds or less to say, boom, 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 this is the thing, this is what happens, this is what it is. And there you are. However, you gotta love, you don't gotta love, I don't love them. Google. Yeah, that's right, Google. I'm talking to you. I know you're listening. Google and other search engines control a vast amount of the internet indirectly. So if you want someone to find your article about octopuses rolling in MDMA by Sarah Sloat on, whatever this was, Inverse, then you have to write a catchy headline so that people will click on it, but you also have to do a ton of extra work in the background, like padding out the runtime, essentially, of your content to make sure that the search engines will take it and say, this is good, this is important, this is stuff that people need to see. And it's kind of annoying. It's kind of necessary in order to be seen, in order to be available, in order for things to happen. But it's yeah, it's kind of a bummer, honestly, because then you get stuff like this where like I'm sitting here reading. Oh, okay, here's two sentences of information. Reading. Okay, here's 2 more sentences of actual information. The rest of it was all fluff. And I think it's bad for our digestion. It's bad for our mental digestion, if I could say it that way. That there's so much stuff out there that's just fluff, and it's not good stuff. It's just things and stuff, and the only reason it's there is to pad out the runtime, is so that things will look important, things will look attractive and shiny to the Google search engine or whatever it is, and so SEO is happy and satisfied, and it'll get pushed up in the ranking, pushed up by the algorithm. And I don't like it. Honestly, I've worked with it. I've worked for a company, optimizing for it, and we actually did pretty well on our website. We did very well on the website we were working on. But it's kind of soul sucking. It's kind of like I never felt like I could really write about what I wanted to write about. I was always what I wanted to write about was 1 or 2 sentences, and then the rest of it was just coming up with filler, coming up with keywords, buzzwords, essentially, to try to get the search engines and other people to click on it. And I mean, I understand it's kind of the world we live in. It's kind of the way things are on the internet. It's an ocean of information, so you're trying to stick out like a little buoy amidst millions of other buoys for people's attention. But I have a right to not like it, so we'll put it that way. All right, enough of my rant. That was something I didn't mention earlier, but yes, I will be ranting. I'm a bit of a ranter every once in a while. Let me see. Are people still with us? People are still with us. People are watching. People are listening. All right, let me see what else. What time is it? It's quarter. Oh wow, it's almost 7:15. Should we wrap things up? The sun's up already. I'm looking at Rusty. He's off screen, but he's definitely there. That's him click-clacking around if you noticed earlier. Okay, I'm gonna go. I think I am. I'm gonna finish up because we started at 6:35, so we're going a lot later than I intended to. Great, cool. I wasn't sure if I'd run out of things to say or if this was gonna be completely bogus or whatnot. So I'm actually gonna go to the last thing I had. Hopefully I'm warmed up enough for this. I want to sing because I love to sing, and I wanted to do a song. And since it's Saturday, and since I like happy music, I'm gonna do this song here, which is Saturday in the Park by the band Chicago. And I grabbed this version of it, which is a karaoke version. So hopefully that'll it gives me a backing track, but it also means that hopefully we won't trigger any copyright algorithms if I use karaoke tracks, because they're not going to be matched up with the... That's the other crazy thing about the algorithm. YouTube and Google, they scan everything automatically that's happening, all the digital stuff that gets uploaded, the however many hundreds of hours per second that are shoved onto YouTube, they actually scan all of it. And so they'll check if you've got copyrighted stuff, if you've got stuff that breaks their terms of service, if it's pornographic or if it's too violent or whatever, or if it's got certain buzzwords, the keywords that they've got flagged that, okay, you can't say those kind of things. Or you can't talk about this topic. Yeah, right, censorship. So anyways, all that to say, since this is a third-party production of the song, hopefully it won't get triggered because it's not the actual original recording. Hopefully. Anyways, so I'm going to sing this. I'll also say I searched through a lot of versions of this video, of this specific song, trying to find one that sounded okay, because karaoke tracks are kind of lame, to be honest. That sounded okay, but also had the lyrics right. None of them did. None of the karaoke versions of this song have the lyrics right. They all mess them up somewhere. They all have some weird English translation where it's like, okay, those aren't even real English, the way English people talk, like it doesn't match the way it sounds, or they would just be like weird swap out words for things. I don't understand it. This one, it was the best sounding one, where the words were closest to the original, so I'm actually going to be referring to lyrics on another page there, I think. I might be able to remember most of them anyways. Yeah, it's only a couple spots where it messes up. Anyways, we'll see how this goes. Again, completely live, so if this is terrible, I'm going to say it's because it's live and it's 7:14 in the morning, and all I've had is some coffee, and I haven't exactly warmed up for singing, so what you get is what you get. All right, let's see how this goes. Yeah, that's on. And I already know that the audio balance of me to the track is going to be off at somehow. We'll just gonna have to roll with it. Saturday in the park, I think it was the 4th of July. Saturday in the park, I think it was the 4th of July. People dancing, people laughing, a man selling ice cream, singing Italian songs. E compare Senate, can you dig it? Yes, I can, and I've been waiting such a long time for Saturday. This is rougher than I thought it would be. Another day in the park, you'd think it was the 4th of July. Another day in the park, I think it was the 4th of July. People talking, really smiling, a man playing guitar and singing for us all. Will you help him change the world? Can you dig it? Yes, I can, and I've been waiting such a long time for Saturday. Slow motion riders fly the colors of the day. A bronze man still can tell stories his own way. Listen, children, all is not lost, all is not lost, oh no. Here's the lyrics, they're wrong again. 40 days in the park, and every day's the 4th of July. 40 days in the park, and every day's the 4th of July. People reaching, people touching, a real celebration, waiting for us all. If you want it, really want it, can you dig it? Yes, I can, and I've been waiting such a long time for Saturday. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, 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 mm-hmm. All right. Well, like I said, that went all right. I didn't crack too bad, I don't think so. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I know this was kind of something new and different, and I didn't really know what to expect, and I know you obviously didn't either. But it seems like it turned out okay, so we'll see. I don't know. I'm gonna do it again next Saturday. It'll be starting roughly 15 minutes before sunrise on next Saturday. I'm gonna figure out something. Watch the socials. Watch YouTube. I'm going to put stuff in the description of this video after the fact, because since it's live, I can't mess with all that right now. But I'm going to figure out something, whether it's you could tweet at us or, oh yeah, we don't have Instagram. We had an Instagram for MORPHITE, and then they were like, no, we don't like you. You got to get out of here. And I really don't know why. They said, you violated terms of service. And I literally, all we did was we made an account. And so I tried pushing back, and I was like, you know what? We don't need Instagram. Who cares? So I'll probably do it on Twitter, but we'll have, if you want to tweet at us or throw comments on this video or in the chat, let us know if you got other crazy ideas. What I'm going to try to do is not, I'm going to try to, as best as I can, avoid reading or watching or looking at whatever we set up for reactions on this, so that it's completely live, completely just my take, hot take. I will say, though, in advance, I'm not a big reactionary like to stuff, as you saw with the video. I'm really skeptical, and I'm really kind of like, all right, what is this? What's going on? I'm not really wowed, so don't send me those videos where it's like, oh no, big explosion, or my cat fell off the roof, or whatever. I'm not big into that stuff. I mean, I'll just kind of be like, okay, so that happened. But I am into stuff that makes me think. So that's why that anomaly thing, it was like, it got me. It was like, oh, there's an anomaly. There's something maybe, and then there was nothing. They didn't answer the question. They didn't. But it was like, I got just enough of a taste to be like, okay, I get what's going on here. But it wasn't that thing that I tasted wasn't good enough that I was like, I have to go watch this whole documentary now. Because I could probably just look up on Wikipedia and read the synopsis and know what that whole documentary is about and whether they found anything. I haven't heard that changed the world, so it happened back in 2012. Anyways, thank you so much for joining MORPHITE.net. If you want to check out what's going on in MORPHITE, I'm going to be working on that more this coming week. I know I've been kind of slacking on that one, but we'll have more updates on there. We'll have everything kind of, tweaking and slowly kind of making things a little more cool. Let us know what you think of this. If this is a crazy, stupid idea, I'd love to hear that, because I love negative feedback. It helps me. It makes me happy. Or positive feedback. Positive feedback's great too. So anyways, thanks for joining us, and we'll do our Saturday stream next week again at sunrise.